All right, that first video covered a lot, but I didn't mention some really important things. So let's hit Command N again. And once again, let's focus on coming over to the web. And all that's doing is it's putting us in the right zone here. And I haven't really explained things. Okay, so we got our web large, but don't click OK. Now watch. The resolution is down here. This is 72 pixels per inch. Now, resolution used to be simple. A PC was 96, a Mac was 72, and a Mac was 72 because they were approximating a pica, 72 points per pica. And so the whole thing revolved around print industry, and the PC kind of had a different angle at it. But today, monitors are coming in all kinds of different resolutions. My native screen resolution here is 144 pixels per inch. And notice, 72. So 144 multiply 72 times 2. And once again, that's not double, that's 4 times when you count the height and width of a square inch. Okay? So that's the first confusing thing. So we're going to work at screen resolution when we want to work for the web. But once we begin to understand that our print resolution is 180, well then, you start to see that if I put 1800 here, what's 180 times 10? You add a 0, right? So that would be 1800. So this width would be 10 inches. And just to prove that, if I change pixels to inches, it changes to 10. But the problem here, as soon as you change inches over here, and you're going to forget and say 180, or even worse, 1800. And notice how that turned red? That is a warning because there's 12 inches in a foot. 120 inches would be 10 feet. So you're starting to see this is 150 feet. You don't want to document 150 feet wide. But there, that's 15 feet wide, 180 inches, right? 120 is 10 feet, another 60 is another 5, 15 feet. You want to work in pixels. Always, always, always. You want to work in pixels, and then you say, wait a minute, 3,200 pixels, what's going on there? So I'm going to click away and then click back on Web Large, so we're back down to this. The point of this is Illustrator, you make an artboard a certain size, it doesn't matter. It's math. Think of Illustrator as the recipe. I'm going to make a pizza, and here's the recipe for a small pizza. Only you say, okay, well, I got this, but I'd rather have a large. All you got to do is multiply, you do a little math, and you multiply the recipe by whatever you need to in order to get that large size. Now, Photoshop is different. Photoshop is the pizza. Illustrator's math, Photoshop is pixels. They are these elements on your screen. So, pixels, pizza, get the comparison? So, if you make a small pizza in Illustrator, you can make it any size. You can double the recipe, quadruple, 10 times. It's okay, it's math. As long as there's no JPEGs in there, no raster images. And we'll learn more about this. But for Photoshop, when you're done with your small pizza, it's baked. You pulled it out of the oven. There it is. You want a large? Try stretching it. Let's say your parents give you 20 bucks. Go down and get us a large pizza. I know, might cost more. And you go down and you order a small pizza, but ask them to put it in a large box. and you're going to pocket the difference. And then you go out to the car and you try to stretch that pizza so it looks like a large. You know, your parents won't know, right? How do you think that's going to work? Now, in the olden days, I mean, it was terrible. It was all pixelated. You guys have seen those pictures that you have, you know, stretched out in PowerPoint or something, and all the edges have, you know, all this noise around them. The pixelation, it's what it's called. Because it was a bad image to start with, and when you stretched it, when you made it bigger, when you stretched the pizza, you made it look worse. Now, Photoshop isn't magic, but with that setting we made in preferences that allows you to use that artificial intelligence for upsampling, man, I played around with the settings and it does work wonders. But it's not a miracle worker. You reach a point at which you stretch that pizza, man. So, resolution. Image size is up here. Resolution is here. Color mode, RGB. We only work in RGB here. There will be a point at which we send something up to the district office for print. We're still going to work in RGB. I'm going to do the color transfer. And if you're thinking about going into graphic design, you want to learn about this, we'll talk about working in CMYK and all of the pluses and minuses involved in that. But for us, the vast majority of students, we're working in RGB all year long. That's our color mode, RGB. Got it? Okay. This is important. Image size, resolution, color mode. I can't tell you how important these three elements are in Photoshop, that if you're working for print, then we're going to change this resolution to 180, and we're going to figure out the size in inches, but we're going to do the math and multiply every inch by 180, and we'll figure out the exact pixel size. So you don't have to worry about getting it wrong. We'll get to that later, but you have to understand image size, resolution, color mode. The big three in Photoshop when you're getting started.